So, hey there, listener. This is Do You Want to Make a Podcast?
Yes, that is the name of the show. We just have a couple bullet points that we need to hit before we start. 1, there's a fireplace. It's fake. I've ruined everything. Wait, should we start over?
Take 2. Hello, listener. You are listening to, because you're a listener. Take 3. This is...
Wait, we should establish, what we want to talk about. What are the bullet points we need to hit here?
I got it. Okay, so we tell them that the show is called Do You Want to Make a Podcast? It is a fireside chat between two best friends who are on the hunt to create the perfect podcast. They have a lot of ideas, and they can't decide what they want to talk about.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
That's it?
That's the synopsis. Then we'll plug the social media.
Do we want to do social media?
Yeah. So we'll tell them to follow us at Do You Want to Pod, all spelled out. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can also email us at doyouwanttomakeapodcast@gmail.com.
That's it.
That works for me.
Wait, I think we just did it.
We did it. That was my plan all along.
Oh, okay. Bye.
Bye.
Except hello, because now the show's starting.
Yes, it is. And just like that,
we did it.
We're here. Mission.
We've arrived
at the podcast.
We made it.
We have Rory Max Kaplan and Chelsea Best joining us today on the show, and I could not be happier about that.
That makes 4 of us.
Yes.
Party of 4.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Anyone watching the video of this, Chelsea drew these beautiful paintings that are behind me. I'm always trying to promote her wonderful work.
Ayo.
I feel like, Chelsea, there's been so many Zoom calls I've been on. I just slowly but surely just kind of try to adjust myself, but there's no subtle way to do that. I'm like, buy my friend's stuff. She's really
oh my God.
I think that's very subtle.
Dude, you're awesome.
Yeah,
oh, yes. The slow lean.
Yeah.
The slow...
Oh, there's a third one!
Right?
Yeah.
Sneak attack.
There's a surprise around every corner, around every shoulder.
It's your chair yoga.
I wish I had more so I could just be like, yeah, and just bring it in and just slowly but surely cycle through.
If that's not subliminal messaging, I don't know what is.
I should buy artwork from that artist.
What was that? Where did I see that?
Yeah, and I just send them random texts in the night, no explanation. Picture the paintings.
Yeah.
Go to Etsy.
Oh my gosh.
You can't. You
cannot escape them.
You can't buy that kind of advertising.
No. We keep forgetting to do this, but we always like to make sure everyone's on the same page. Does everyone here want to make a podcast?
Everyone here wants
to make a podcast.
Okay, what about you, Jim?
Yes.
Good.
I'm ready.
I try not to assume.
It's time. Let's go!
Now, Jim, just like Batman, we've discovered that we only have one rule on this podcast.
Right.
We don't talk about it?
Okay, so now we have 2 rules.
Okay.
Second rule is we don't talk about it except when we promote it each and every week and tell everyone we know. But the other rule, which we do end up breaking, so feel free as our guest to break the rule, is we don't talk about the remake of Cats on this podcast.
Well, it wasn't remade. It wasn't a remake. It was
It
a
was
first make.
re-released.
The release. We don't talk about the new Cats. And as soon as we say that, we find that all we can talk about is Cats. So,
more opinions just keep coming up.
Any thoughts from you guys on the new Cats?
No.
I haven't seen it.
Bring me the
comment.
Bring me the buttholes.
What?
Ah, okay. You heard it here first.
You know what? Those are 2 great takes. Haven't seen it, bring me the buttholes. You know what? That's all you need. Love it.
The New York Times raves. Cats. Haven't seen it, and bring me the buttholes.
Concise.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler
Put it on
alert.
Rotten Tomatoes, baby.
Now I'm hearing buttholes. Now, what is it about the cat's butthole that especially you call that out particularly? What about the butthole?
Well, I mean, okay, again, and I haven't seen it. I mean, kind of like most movies nowadays, you see the trailer, like the full trailers, which are usually between 3 and 5 minutes.
You've seen the movie.
Seen the whole movie at that point.
I just watched it.
They
I
just
don't
watched
need to
it.
pay for that.
Exactly. I know who dies. I know who's in it. I know what happens. The whole deal. But I mean, immediately when I saw the first trailer, I immediately it was like it didn't matter who was in it. It didn't matter who was in it, how great the cast was or anything. I saw the CGI and everything with it, and I just was like, no, thank you, not for me. I'm all good. Cats in general isn't for me. But then, of course, they did it like that. And I say the buttholes because I'm like, they went that deep into the CGI to make them look like actual cats and the whole thing, the whole whatever. If you're gonna do that, what does a real cat look like? But always having their tail up and there's the asshole.
There you see it.
Yeah, it's kind of unmissable in real life, so I would imagine it would have to be a part of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even a fan of the show, the musical, what have you, but the whole theatrical spectacle of the thing, you kind of have to have some sort of respect for. I knew a buddy from a cast over, not this last one, the one before that was like in the 90s or something, whatever. And going backstage, I went with my mom, and I hated seeing it, but we went backstage to say hi to the friend, and he did his own makeup. Like, they all do their own makeup.
That's cool.
And like the whole production of it is like this huge thing. I'm like, why wouldn't you do that in the movie? Why would you sell that short and do some shitty CGI and leave out the butts? Leave out the assholes.
I think we're finally we're getting to the crux of why this film didn't do as well as expected. Leaving out the butthole, big mistake.
Big mistake.
Big mistake.
Big mistake.
You talk to anybody in Hollywood right now, they say it's all about the butthole. That's what it's all about.
The 90s were for the nipple. Now it's all about the butthole.
Now we just got to keep pushing
the
those
debut
limits.
of the nipple was the 90s. Friends, the whole series. Is it really that cold? Or did you just before?
I think you're onto
Right.
something
Making your
there,
entrance.
Chelsea.
Or did they like give them?
Did they have inserts?
Did
That was
inserts.
also a debate topic. Oh.
I don't know.
Now to play devil's advocate, isn't the idea, like, I didn't watch too much Friends, but the idea is like they're like broke in New York, even though they have a great apartment. They might not have turned the heat on in that apartment. It would be cold in there. Nips would be in full effect. Potentially, just playing devil's advocate. But I like the idea that there's inserts. That's even more fun.
Could be, because there was an alarmingly high amount of visible nipples throughout that whole series.
Oh yeah.
I have to do a
More so
rewatch.
than any other.
Yeah, now I have a reason to go rewatch Friends, I guess.
Do it.
Gotta get HBO Max so I can rewatch Friends to see all the nipples. Do a deep nipple dive and be like, when are the nipples visible in Friends?
Oh, and I'm sure there's a website for it.
You know what? There probably is. And if there's not, then I just found my next project. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but I never saw a male nipple.
No, there was never really a male nipple either.
If it's really that cold, the men are not even wearing bras.
Yeah.
Why aren't their nipples
Right.
visible?
So is this a one-way street? Like, there's an underrepresentation of male nips in this?
Yeah,
Well,
I think there should be more
the
male
90s
nipples.
were a time of very baggy clothes for the men.
Well, guys have had
yes.
a rough go of it, as of very recently. They deserve their due of nipple showing.
The male nipple has been objectified enough. It's been on TV. It's been able to be on TV for the last 50 years.
That was actually
So-
part of the casting process of Friends, where you had to send a headshot and a nip shot, but only for the men.
Only for the men.
Resume, not required.
Not required.
No.
And maybe that's why, like, because I've heard a lot of folks of a certain age, they marvel that the younger folk, I mean, not that we're the young folk anymore, but that Friends has like lasted throughout different generations of viewing. And maybe subliminally, everyone's just about looking for, they're just like, oh, a nipple show. They don't realize that's why they're in it.
Yes, but either that or we also like to play the boom game. Boom.
Oh, the boom. Yeah. How often
When
you
the
see
boom dips.
how often you see the boom, just
Right
kind of
here.
the boom mic coming right into the shot of the scene.
Boom.
We would play the boom game. Drink whenever you see the boom. It would
On
literally be like,
Friends? Did it happen a lot?
Yeah. Happens a lot.
Boom.
Boom. See the boom mic. You see it going like
That's
that.
terrible.
And then you're like, oh, boom mic. Cheers.
Oh, but it's wonderful. So would you say every episode?
Would you?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was every episode.
Or is it a little more rare?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was every episode.
It is a fun game.
Oh, Friends.
Boom!
What are some other fun film, either TV or movie, watching drinking games that you guys enjoy?
I mean, there's always the Big Lebowski.
Ooh.
Can you keep up with how often the dude drinks a White Russian?
Yeah.
He's always making another one.
Yeah.
And you gotta make a new one and be done with your last one. Yes. Yeah.
Every time John Goodman raises his voice, that kind of thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say drink every time they say dude in that movie, which I just
Yeah.
learned
Right,
via a
right.
trivia question is like 169 times.
The U.S.
say dude.
The U.S. Office, the Office was. That's a great one for a drinking game. Like every time Jim looks at the camera and does like a
Shruggy shrug, yeah.
does his little thing, or yeah. Anytime Steve Carell says something misogynistic or like
Oh my god.
something crazy.
Anytime you want to turn it off because it hurts so much, but you can't look away. It's like a car accident, that show.
It's so good. Oh, I love it though. I love it.
Oh, it's a great show, but it is like a car accident.
Oh
That's
yes.
fair.
Oh
That's
yeah.
fair.
I mean I know some folks I know would say I can't get into it because it is such.
It's
It's
painful.
like it's a car
Yeah.
wreck. It's so painful. The awkward situation, especially like early seasons, is like it's such an awkward situation. He's like I don't find it funny. It makes me uncomfortable, and I'm like that shit.
I have to like pause it and like walk away from it for a minute and be like, it's not real. It's not real. No one's really that dumb.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh.
Cue the president.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but cue the best bash of POTUS at present time with Steve Carell as like one of the main writers
yeah.
heading the show.
With
Have
Space
you guys
Force?
Seen
Have you seen Space Force yet?
I haven't started it yet. Is it great?
We are like 2 episodes away, I think, of being done. It is.
Within the first 5 minutes of the first episode, we both looked at each other and were like, "I'm so happy right now."
Yeah. and wait, who's his? It's John Malkovich plays his.
Yes. Oh, the two of them together.
Carell and
It's
Malkovich
brilliant.
together are. I mean, for anything, they're the reasons to watch it.
That's
awesome.
amazing. I'm gonna have to start it.
That sounds very good.
It's fantastic.
I do wanna watch it.
Yeah.
Like nobody's business.
I think you guys would especially like The Midnight Gospel on Netflix. Have you guys started that?
Oh.
Wait.
I
but
haven't.
we've seen previews for it.
Have we?
It
Is
is
it weird?
a sober acid trip is the only way I can describe it.
Yes.
Then you've seen a preview. I can't remember
We've
the preview.
seen
for
the
it.
preview for this.
I don't remember.
Talk about it, Joe.
It's
Preach.
quite therapeutic, especially in this time that we're in. So the comedian Duncan Trussell has for years had a podcast where he talks about spirituality, meditation, Eastern philosophy. He's a big fan of Ram Dass. He and Pete Holmes actually would go on the yearly retreats for Ram Dass. So if you're into
Okay.
that kind of thing, that's where it started. So Duncan's podcast is basically being animated by Pendleton Ward, who did Adventure Time. So they start each episode off with like 5 minutes of a very loose plot, and then the character Duncan voices, whose name is Clancy, puts himself into a simulator that is shaped like a giant vulva, and it teleports him into these simulated worlds where he interviews and quotes people for what he goes, "Do you guys want to be on my space cast?" It gets put into space. And that's where like the footage for lack of a better, of Duncan's previous podcast episodes start. And it's just this like wonderful, crazy acid trip of a ride where they talk about life and death and forgiveness and like everything. And the last episode is one of the last conversations Duncan had with his mother before she passed.
Oh.
Wow.
It's so beautiful. She's like during the audio, you hear her say, "Yeah, I've been told that I only have 3 months to live for the past 6 years." And they're like, "Wow, like what's that about?" It's just like I did not expect for it to be like have a healing quality, but it really did. It was
That sounds pretty cool. And honestly, it does what you were talking about kind of did sound a little familiar. I mean, honestly, we see Netflix previews for all these shows, like we see a million every time you go into it. So it actually does sound slightly familiar. I love both those guys.
They use such like a creative vehicle for those conversations. Like, I
pretty
love
cool.
that. I would totally check that out.
That sounds pretty cool.
definitely worth a watch. And I recommend it to all the listeners as well, kids. It's a fun time.
Endorsed.
Indoors, yes, of course. Oy.
You know, Ram Dass used to get really high in multitudes of ways until he found meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said there is no high superior to meditation.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I was done. I was it. I was always looking for the next big high, the next big high. I wanted to get higher.
Chasing that.
And then I realized I could get the highest I will ever need to be in life with meditation. And I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah.
He was a pretty brilliant man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have the links to back this up, but through podcasts, I've heard that there's been studies where if you take pictures of the brain of folks on psilocybin, which is the drug, quote unquote, in magic mushrooms, if you take that and someone who's meditating, the images of the brains is exactly the same.
Yeah.
So if you're meditating, you're like basically giving yourself a natural
But then it's
dose.
reaching that state of
Yeah.
meditation through like practice upon practice upon practice upon practice that you actually reach that certain level that really activates that part of the mind and the psyche.
Yeah, there's a story in Pete Holmes' book about how Ram Dass, like, as you said, Chelsea, to your point, he was chasing these highs and he was on psychedelics. He goes to India, he meets his guru, whose name was Maharaji. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And he gives Maharaji, he's like, this is what I've been taking. And he gives him like a giant dose of whatever it is. And Maharaji just takes it and blinks and goes, it's all right. He basically isn't fazed by it because
Right.
he's so used to meditating and he's like on this other plane. And he's like, oh, that's cute.
Right.
Which I love.
Right. And I've actually heard
So
of that.
centered.
totally heard
So
of that.
centered he can't be knocked off.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's where I live all the time. Join me.
Right?
That's beautiful, though.
I love it.
Meditation.
I challenge him to do that in Manhattan, though. I challenge him to
Mushrooms in Manhattan?
no. I meditate and
Or
reach
meditate.
that sort of concentration of meditation in Manhattan.
Car alarm.
It's probably possible. I mean,
Baby
with that
crying.
kind of training.
The music of the
like-
city. It's just the music of the city. It
is. I agree.
It's a different way of
I totally agree. It's part of my soundtrack. I'm all about
connecting
it.
to
Yeah.
whatever.
What was it from Arthur? Listen to the beat, listen to the rhythm of the street. Anyone remember
Yes,
the kids show
that-
Arthur?
That was the lyrics to the theme song. Yes.
Yes. Nailed it. This supports my theory that I know like 4 bars of any given song, but I don't know any complete songs. Like I can't go forward after that.
Sure. Well, that's an interesting topic of conversation. Would you rather know a little bit about everything or a lot and most of one thing?
A little bit of everything.
Okay.
Sure.
Because that's how I feel like I am. Well, not everything, but I don't feel like I have a lot of knowledge about any one thing right now. So unless that one thing is the entire Encyclopedia Britannica, which would be...
Well.
Well, that's cheating.
It is. Totally.
That's
So,
cheating. That's
aside
the
from
loophole.
cheating...
That's unacceptable.
Is that like wishing for more wishes?
Yes, essentially, yes. That's no, the correct answer is a little bit of everything because that's the only way you can win a game of Trivial Pursuit.
There you go. There you go.
Which is
We have
important.
it. It's very
Do you
It is.
think...
Depends on what's riding on the game.
Oh, go ahead.
Depends on what's riding on that game.
Wait. Well, I mean, it can be as simple as my pride. I play to win.
I play for keeps.
I didn't come here to make friends. I came here to win. Is what I say before every game because I'm secretly a white woman on a reality show.
You're a
Is the rub that, Jim, you always leave any game with like 5 new friends and you're like, damn it, I didn't come here for you, but I'm so glad I met you.
Stop following me.
I have alienated people during a game. I have been that competitive that I've alienated
I gotta keep it at arm's length.
Yeah.
Can we get a story about this, Jim? If it's not too personal?
It's not a moment of pride for sure, but okay, so
Can we act it out, improv it out? No. Just kidding. Go Jim, go.
I mean, it was a game of Jeopardy that we were playing at the beginning of a playwriting competition that I was a part of in college. And so, like, to get, like, the twist that we were going to get and, like, to figure out who would get to pick their topic first about what they were going to write about, we played a game of Jeopardy at the start of the night. And I love Jeopardy. I love Jeopardy so much. And I got a little too into it. And to be fair, okay.
Are you trying to find a way to not like incriminate yourself?
What? No, regulation is just so important in a game like that. If you want to talk about like who answered something first, or when it's important to be like who clocked in first, like regulation's so important, and there was not a good way of regulation, and it got me a little heated.
For lack of a better term.
And people that typically enjoy my presence did not enjoy my presence that evening, and it scarred me in a deep way. That's not true. It didn't scar me, but it made me remember that anyone can become a monster if they're too passionate about something.
That's deep, dude. That's really good.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
That being said, I do still go into most games wanting to crush people. Well, I want to have fun first, and then I get like... So the cycle is like, oh, this game is cool, I'm so excited to play it, and then you get about a third of the way in, and you either are... There's 2 possibilities. One is, I've already lost, so let's just let it ride, baby. And the other one is, there's a chance. There's a chance for victory, and I'll do anything for it.
You're competitive, Jim. That's all you're saying. You're a competitive man.
And,
We're gonna win.
We're gonna win.
Sometimes I go a little wild.
You look like a Tasmanian devil.
That's me. That's my Tasmanian devil.
Well said. I mean, it was a...
Thank you.
On Quaaludes. I was Tasmanian devil on Quaaludes.
You guys are
Shot with a tranquilizer.
Oh, Tasmanian devil on Quaaludes. Excellent. Very
Tasmanian
excellent.
devil on quarantine, though. Like, he's like spinning closer, but then he like ducks away really quick before he gets too close to folks.
Cyclone is about 6 feet wide, so you know it's a good it's a good measure of distance.
He's been social distancing since day one.
Yeah. He saw this coming. Getting back to the idea of a little bit of...
I'm sorry, I have one more thing to say about the Tasmanian devil.
Sure.
Have you ever realized that his mouth is like most of his body?
Oh my God. Like, yeah. Majority of his body is...
And that's weird. That's it.
He doesn't
All right,
have any
thanks.
hips. He doesn't have
No
hips.
hips. Yeah, his hips do lie because they're not there.
His legs come out of his head.
I thought I would
Yeah.
do it better justice, so no.
Yeah.
He's just a big head mouth with arms and legs.
Yeah.
Yes, it's weird.
Quite.
Also, he probably doesn't look anything like an actual Tasmanian devil because that's a real creature.
Correct.
But
I don't know that I know exactly, like, I can't necessarily close my eyes and know what a real Tasmanian devil looks like.
I have no idea. I'm convinced I've probably never seen one.
For some reason, I keep picturing like a hyena. Like if they almost look like some sort of
All right, now I have to look it up.
I was just going to say, who's Googling? Who's on Google
Give it a
right
goog.
now?
Is it the effect of like how, for Marvel we have the X-Men who's Wolverine?
It's like a rat.
Yeah, and it's basically this cute furry little thing.
Well, but it's got to be big. It's got to be someone on the...
Is it also a big mouth head with arms and legs?
No, it's mass. It's mass. According to the Wikipedia entry on the front page of the Google search for Tasmanian Devil, its maximum speed while running is 8.1 miles per hour. Its mass, a male typically weighs about 18 pounds, and a female weighs about 13 pounds, and it measures in about 2 feet in length.
It's a dog.
Yeah, it's like a giant rat, essentially.
Yeah,
a giant black rat.
Oof.
Here, I'll share my screen.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh!
Aw,
It's kind of cute.
I like his little armbands.
It's kind of cute.
He's got cute little armbands.
Still has a big mouth, I'll say that. Some of these pictures are horrifying.
Oh, you mean like this one?
Does look like a glorified rat or like a relative to a possum.
This one?
I'm looking for some type of similarity
Oh,
to...
no, there's Taz.
the
Oh, here we
cartoon.
go. Here's a comparison shot.
There it is.
Yep.
I'm
there's
not.
the guy.
I'm not seeing it.
I'm not seeing it.
I'm not seeing it. Unfortunately.
Really not seeing any relation,
Oh, come on, it's
quite
just spitting in
frankly.
Well, I want to know a call. I want like audio footage of an actual one if it actually does that. Like if it actually does that shit.
I want to see one of those real Tasmanian devils in an audio booth with these headphones at the mic, just making the sounds, and just being. And he looks up at the booth. He's like, "Can we do that again? Can we just punch in real quick?"
You guys need another one?
I wasn't
another one?
feeling that. One more.
Yeah. I wasn't conveying what I wanted to in that one.
Or he's actually really sophisticated, and he's like, "How did that sound?"
Yeah.
Hold
No,
up.
one small?
This
Okay.
one is Tasmanian Devil.
I'm a graduate of the Tisch School of the Arts.
Oh,
That's adorable. It's adorable.
Now,
it's a baby.
we found the perfect podcast. It's just looking at this cute thing.
Well, Tasmanian Devil.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
don't get angry.
Now he looks like a...
Oh, it's like a little bear.
Hold on. It
Yeah,
got less
he
cute.
looks like a-
You
that one
guys
look-
couldn't hear that audio. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Okay, so yeah, exactly like Looney Tunes.
Sounds exactly like it.
It actually does.
No, wait, now you gotta find the cartoon.
Yeah,
Okay,
side
hold
by
on,
side.
Hold on. Compare. Okay, wait. I should go back here then.
He
and-
snorted. He went...
Oh my god.
Has anyone made like a crazy dubstep remix of Tasmanian Devil sounds? Because I feel like that would slap.
Come on, Taz, come through.
Karaoke? What is this nonsense? Is this a song?
Seems someone's pet is getting way upset. Lord, it's something awful loud. He just swallowed a dog. Knocked the barbecue then he sucked spit out a tidal wave. Tasmanian meltdown.
There we go. That was. Oh, so compare the wet it to.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Was he mad or does he just only ever make that sound?
That's amazing.
We've learned a great deal today, and I have no idea how we're going to share it on a podcast. But
It's called
But-
Jim's Corner.
yes,
Jim's Animal Corner.
But to summarize, a Tasmanian Devil in real life looks nothing like the cartoon. Its mouth is a normal proportion of its body, although they may sometimes make similar sounds.
Who did the voice? Who did the voice for him? Because he must have done his research.
I thought Mel Blanc did pretty much all the Looney Tunes.
Hey, right?
at
I
least
feel like
originally.
he did like most of the voices.
Yeah.
I mean, what we were just watching was a very recent one, so it's probably not It's somebody else now.
Is it true that he was in a coma at some point from due to some type of medical thing happening to him? And the doctor reached over and said, "Are you in there, Bugs?" And he went in Bugs's voice, "What's up, Doc?" I could totally be making that up.
If you are, it's great.
I will go ahead and say fact check the shit out of me, but I don't know. I don't know why I feel like I've heard that. I heard that.
All right. Well, as long as we're talking a little bit more about the Tasmanian Devil, yes, he was originally voiced by Mel Blanc, or Mel Blanc, however you want to say it. Good job. Nice pull. Also listed on this list of note, Jim Cummings, who is probably most well known as the voice of Pooh Bear, but does a lot of voices. I can totally hear him doing that. Brendan Fraser, at some point, voiced the Tasmanian Devil.
Really?
Which is weird to me. I have no idea when that would be.
Well, didn't they do?
Or were they just in a movie together? What was that movie?
Nah, but they
Well, this is the Tasmanian Devil. It says Tasmanian Devil is played by Mel Blanc, Jim Cummings, Brendan Fraser, and it's like, what?
They've done revamps of Looney Tunes that I'm sure. I mean, I haven't seen them, but I can't imagine they're as good as any of the old stuff.
Well, and then the last name of note on this list is a guy named D. Bradley Baker, who.
Oh, Bradley.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he does a lot of. If you've watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is just back on Netflix, he was the voice of both Appa and Momo.
Oh, heck yeah.
So, like, he does a lot of animal voices. So I was like, oh, the Tasmanian Devil, if anybody does it now, it's probably D. Bradley Baker. Lo and behold, I was right. Thank you.
Nailed it.
Trivia night.
Thank you.
There. A little bit of everything.
Okay, now I have to go to... Okay, you guys can talk about other things. I have to look at Brendan Fraser's IMDb page now.
All right. While Jim's researching that, Rory and Chels, we can cut this if you'd rather not, but are there any creative projects you guys are working on that you'd like to promote to the masses of the internet on our podcast?
This camera, this camera, this camera, this camera.
Okay, can't do that. That's hot ones. You can't hot ones. You can't. It's
But Sean Evans would love that shout out.
He'd love to send you a subpoena. No. Yeah, man. For me, this would be actually kind of the first announcement of it, honestly. So, an exclusive. If you will.
Yes! The hot gossip.
Wouldn't you wish I had 1 million followers? I don't. But yeah. So actually, today, a couple things. Today is the official release of a compilation album that Joe, you know this. My dad and I, for the past about 10 years, we've been writing and producing music together, and we did a song that started after the tragedies in Ferguson, and then it kind of came to its completion after the Orlando nightclub shooting. We did an anti-gun violence song called "Put the Guns Away," and that was just a really big production that we put together. And we've been trying to get it out there for past few years now, and we were able to, when I was doing Bronx Tale, we were able to get the whole cast on the Minskoff Theater stage where they do Lion King for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. They do they hold 2 events each year for their donation seasons, and for one of them we got the whole cast on stage to perform the song, and they gave us $10,000 to donate to an anti-gun violence organization. So that whole thing. But today it was released on a compilation album called "We the World," a compilation album, nice. Where every song on the album, I think it's 13 different songs, 13 artists or something, is each song is representing a different cause, and all the money that gets made from either buying songs or buying the album goes to separate organizations. So like not every single penny goes to all these different organizations. And when we performed it, and when they reached out to us about it, it was about the time where March for Our Lives, those teenagers organized their thing. So from that point on, we committed to donating our shares to them.
Nice.
So that released today, and over the next like 3 months, they're going to do like rollouts of promotions and all that kind of stuff for it. And I'm also going to be doing a live performance for the Mercy for Animals organization. Chell and I have been vegan for plant-based for about 3 years, and it's just it's just a big cause and it means a lot to us. And they reached out to me, and they have everyone from like Grammy Award winning artists to like major Broadway stars and whatnot to just to really anybody that they see out there and really want to be a part of these concert series that they do. It's a 2-day concert series, and I'm going to be a part of that at June. I think it's June 27th and 28th. And then I'm releasing an EP July 1st. So
Look at you, man.
keeping super busy. I mean,
Heck yeah.
The EP consists, so it's going to be an 8-song EP that like I said, my dad and I've been doing music together, but we're recording, fully producing stuff for the past maybe like 10 years or so, or just shy of 10 years. So this EP is going to be full of songs that are actually spanning through that time frame. So it's a whole bunch of that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's called Full Circle, and it'll be on all the streaming stuff and everything. So
Yes. We will link to whatever links you want us to link to, so folks can find it.
no
quickly.
links yet, but we'll see. It'll
right.
happen soon. It'll happen soon. You'll get them.
Excellent.
Yeah. This one's been painting a crazy amount too, and promoting a lot of her painting.
I've been painting.
She's been painting.
Oh, let me just casually move to the side. There's some
Look at that painting.
paintings
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that painting.
behind
I have been
me.
painting.
Yeah.
There's a third one behind the microphone. Wow.
Yeah, man.
Update. Brendan Fraser voiced the Tasmanian Devil in the 2003 film The Looney Tunes Back in Action, in which he starred. He starred in it and also voiced the Tasmanian Devil and the She-Devil, which I can only assume is the Tasmanian Devil's love interest.
All right.
Oh.
Excellent.
Well done, Brendan.
There
Well
you go.
done. Well, I think we're nearing the end of our usual time.
No.
I know.
It's just really good to see your face.
Back at yous.
It's
I'm
good
glad
to see
you guys
any
are here.
faces, man.
Yeah.
But
Jim, where do you reside?
I'm in Jersey, not far from Joseph.
Cool.
Probably a stone's throw away. I don't know why.
We were all waiting on the edge
Yeah.
of our seat. Probably would.
But I was trying to think of a more clever way to
Probably
say that.
a fish's toss.
Oh, just an old crow's hop down the road.
Probably a rabbit's fart.
That's my favorite thing I've heard all day. I'm a rabbit's fart. I'm a rabbit's fart away.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we could do one better than that. I thought
that's
maybe
it.
we could go on a run, but yeah, I don't think you can get better than a
I'm gonna
rabbit's
use
fart.
that from now on. Oh my god.
You're welcome.
When I get a text from my mom, like when I'm coming to visit, how far are you? I'm a rabbit's fart away. Be like, what the fuck did you just say to me right now?
It's the cutest fart image I've ever put in my mind garden. That's wonderful.
That's probably the cutest possible fart is a rabbit's fart.
Oh yeah. Just imagine, because it's got the little tail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe like a little baby chick fart. No,
Maybe.
No, I think the rabbit's better.
Because I imagine the rabbit looking back at you with the big, like, watery eyes and the big fluffy ears. Like, wasn't that adorable?
Look at me, I pooted. Look at me.
And then so relieved. Be like, man, I've been holding that one in forever.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Carrots, man. It's a lot of fiber.
That's true. You gotta look out for those carrots. They'll make you real gassy.
They'll get you.
They'll get you.
Heck yeah. Oy, oy, oy. Well,
We've managed to bring it back to buttholes, by the way.
We
I would
have,
just like
yes.
to
We did full
acknowledge
circle it
that.
back to
We
buttholes.
full circled right back, to buttholes.
Back
Good
to
observation.
Fluffy
Good observation.
buttholes.
Wow. That went over my head too, so good observation.
Full Circle is the name of the album. It's also the butthole journey we've been on today. It's just,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
You can't ask for
It's
better
the
promotion.
shape of most buttholes.
It is.
A
It
full
is.
circle.
Yeah. You can't get better promotion than comparing your title of your album.
Chelsea's, the paintings behind me are they are
Those
circles.
are also circles.
So it's great. It's great.
Wow.
Oh my god.
I think the kids know what to do. Write, subscribe, do all the things, and tell your
Did
moms
you tell
you're
them
okay.
to write?
To rate, but also write. Writing is a wonderful thing.
I hope you guys get physical letters. I hope you get physical envelopes, letters.
They know where we
Carrier
live.
pigeon. Carrier pigeon. We've established that before.
We've talked about them at length.
Send us your carrier pigeons. We accept them. I'll give them a good home.
I prefer a fox.
Carrier fox. Or bunny rabbit, as long as they fart.
And then you text
to
the
announce
rabbit, say,
themselves.
"How fucking far are you?" He's like, "I'm a me's fart away."
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Rate, subscribe, 5 stars, kisses.
Rabbit farts, and bye, Mom.
Mwah.
I don't need your mile long bridge. Williamsburg is too expensive. Fuck the A train. Am I insane? No, I'm just never going back unless you force me to smoke crack or do a little